What is it like for a basketball fan who's, being introduced to this guy with a lot of hype? What is it actually like to be on a basketball court against him?
I mean, obviously the height thing is like a big one because like that's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's just super unique. Never seen anyone that tall in life. He's really tall. Covers a lot of ground. Yeah, he changes the game.
He's his own player person. He's going to create his own lane. He's much different than anybody who's ever played. And you can try to compare, but he's going to carve out his own lane.
Wembanyama on the move.
What once started as an incredibly hyped prospect, with quotes from some reputable people that cover the NBA, the Wembanyama anticipation couldn't be larger than when he set foot in his first Summer League game, a sold-out crowd just itching to get a piece of the quote-unquote best prospect since LeBron James, and after just one Summer League game, it was a party for all the Wemby doubters. He showed out against Portland in his second and final game of Summer League, leaving his believers happy and his skeptics reverting back to the "it's just Summer League" argument. So here we are now, just 7 games into the San Antonio Spurs season, and although I would normally say it's way too early to make assumptions, sitting at 3-4 as of this recording, the Spurs have been an interesting surprise so far, minus a couple of horrible blowouts to the Clippers and Pacers. And this team has some players that get glossed over by the common fan in awe over what we've been witnessing Wemby do night to night. Quick shout out to Devin Vassell, who's been putting people on notice that it's not just the Wemby show in San Antonio, but Wembanyama's been a terror on both ends of the floor, leaving many people in utter disbelief over some of the incomprehensible things we've caught in such a short time. Just a minute into his regular season debut, he gets this block on Kyrie that Irving himself believed to be within enough distance to get a shot off, and he's already ahead on the fast break here. Wemby's size is of course a problem for opposing teams, but it's his mobility that just doubles the impact he has out there. He's already showing that he could be one of, if not the best weak side help defender in NBA history, and all it takes is a handful of games to understand why. With his height and wingspan, Wemby just covers a ridiculous amount of ground and air, reducing the shooting and passing windows that are usually available to make for opposing teams on offense. Wemby really makes skip passes nearly impossible to make for obvious reasons, as seen on this clip. Vic's presence alone caused this Bones Highland turnover, and it's another one for the non-box score impact books. Of course, it's a no-brainer that just like his size makes a great impact on their defense, it helps create tons of situations on offense as well. As an off-ball player, for example, it's really hard for the ball handlers to miss him because of his insane catch radius. Here's one in transition, not only successful, but also exciting, with a reverse alley-oop dunk. Here's a quick passing window that Collins was able to find, and Wemby just tips it in with his left hand. So Wemby is effective as a rim roller on screens, on pick and pops, on catch and shoots to a certain extent, and as a passer as he can see over the defense. His height provides him easier reads on passes to open teammates, which he very willingly makes, from collapsing defenses forced to do something about his presence. And Wemby doesn't just stand around either, often looking for something to do. He's effective as a help defender, rim protector, either altering shots, blocking them, or making an offensive player flat out reset the possession by kicking it back out to look for something else, sometimes resulting in others intercepting passes, which I find to be an incredibly underrated part about him since it's not something I hear enough. As incredible as he's been as a rookie, he's also had some expected difficulties. Getting used to the speed of the game is going to take time, at times being in situations where he gets called for fouls because of it, but he's just virtually useful anywhere you put him, especially when the three starts to fall, because it seems to be the early strategy opposing defenses are opting for when it comes to defending him, at least for now. Wemby isn't exactly the lights-out shooter that people have strangely expected him to be. He shot a career 29% from 3 overseas, now sitting at 31% as of this recording. Wemby definitely looks comfortable shooting the ball, and like a lot of the great tall shot makers in NBA history who were difficult to contest, Wemby gets tons of shots where the defenders are just too little. I talked about game speed leading to foul trouble with Wemby at times. Another work in progress has been the turnovers. Sometimes having good ideas that don't work out, sometimes trying to do a little too much, and other times just losing control. So we know skip passes are almost never going to be an option when Wemby's in the way, but inbounding the ball will be another problem for opposing teams. Wemby's often been described as a hyper-competitive player, and he shows this night in and night out with his desire to defend anywhere on the floor. This was a good moment for him, holding his ground on an island here against Luka, who did a nice job of getting some separation to get a shot off, and while Wemby bit on the first move, he recovered well enough to contest the shot. Here's another one where Wemby's not giving in to pump fakes because he can, of course, block shots without even having to jump. So Dillon Brooks tries a step back after not getting him to bite, but look at how close this was to a block. Great contest that led to a stop, and it's funny to see how Wembanyama has basically changed the overall thought process for not only opposing teams, but for his own teammates as well. And with how often we hear the KD comparisons, it was exciting to finally watch them compete in their last couple of matchups, with Victor just towering over him like he does everyone else, and having the best scoring performance of his career the second time they faced. The NBA is in the best place it's been in a very long time, with talent just oozing everywhere you look, and the Spurs have been one of the most fun teams for me to watch on League Pass for obvious reasons, and it's already looking to be a very promising rookie season for a player that had a lot of hype and a lot of doubt. Thanks for watching this video. This is the All Things Basketball podcast. I'm your host, Vic Lopez, as always, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.